Hey guys, it's me, Ziaptus again, and now I'm a Christian. I believe in God. Um, and that being said, I used to go to a Christian school, not Catholic, thankfully. As you can see, I have my knuckles. I have got these. I got these, so I still have my knuckles. So not Catholic, or else they'd be gone, and they'd be on some ruler by now. But I used to go to a Christian school. They would get mad at you for anything. If you so much as took one simple step outside dress code regulations, yeah, you would be if it was too severe of one, you would be forced to take off whatever article of clothes it was and put something else on that was deemed fine for Christians or whatever. So no death, there's a lot of stuff that won't fly. Luckily, I always wear the most bland of the bland of outfits. But there was one time where I wanted to wear my Rocket Raccoon shirt, which is a cute little picture of Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy, and my mom was kind of worried, or whoever was looking over my clothes was kind of worried about it because it had a gun, a little animated cartoony gun that didn't look at all realistic. Nobody was dying, nobody was being threatened. It just had a gun. And they were worried that I would get in trouble because of that. I mean, I probably could have gotten away with it if I wore my coat all day, which I usually do. But mm, it's pretty telling what a school's like when when people are concerned about the way you dress, when it has a fun little cartoon where there's a lot worse you can be wearing that's actually anti-Christ and all that. But there's this other rule where you if if a book was made by a certain author, you weren't allowed to bring it in, which is very stupid because there are plenty of ways that rule doesn't make sense. You could bring in a Stephen King book. He's known for horror, so nope, can't bring him in. His best known stories are horror stories. So if you were to bring him in, nope, you would have to put that in your bag and it was not allowed to be seen again throughout the whole day at all. Whereas whereas he actually has stories that are perfectly fine for young Christians my age. Sure, it doesn't mention God and Jesus and all that, but it doesn't have to for it to be Christian safe. They just don't like his name because he's not a Christian person. Shut up. Whereas they will allow, most likely, James Patterson. Here's the thing, too. I brought in a book about Wild Bill Hitchcock, one of the first American gunslingers. Wild Bill is a gunslinger, a man who went around killing, whether it be for a reason or just senseless killing, he would go around killing, and they were fine with that because it was historical. Does that mention God in it at all? I don't think it does. It's a detailed thing about his life and the victims he killed. Whereas I can't read a fictional Stephen King book where there's no death, no murder, and this guy is just becoming lighter and lighter until he starts to float off or something. And yet they yell at me and get me in trouble because I brought a Stephen King book. And the thing is, I was literally, at one point, I forgot to put it in my bag, so I placed it down on my desk and I had my computer out. This was a study hall, and I had my computer out, and I was typing away to do a story. And then all of a sudden, the vice principal came up and was like, "Hey, could you put that away? Like, could you stop reading that?" And I was typing on my story, and I wasn't reading it. I was like, "Oh, put this away." Like, I wasn't reading it, but I can. And like, she literally dragged me down to her office to chew me out for being disrespectful just because I was trying to explain what I really was doing, and I was gonna put it away. I was gonna put it away. Now, this is the school that I got expelled from twice. First time for like looking at things on the school computer that they let us bring home, things that I cannot say on YouTube, or else I'll get banned. Now, very unfortunately, my friends can confirm this, that I did actually do that, and I did get expelled for that. The second reason I got expelled was because I didn't do homework. Now, that expulsion does that expulsion not seem a little bit less reasonable? They all say, like, oh, it must be a behavioral thing, it's a disrespect thing. Well, have you ever stopped to think that I might be going through some issues that are making me lose motivation to do that stuff? That maybe I'm not doing it because I'm too busy worrying myself over other stuff so that I'm not focused on doing trivial things like homework? Do you also think it's fair that I would get punished for this because I don't trust? Well, we're going down a whole rabbit hole that I'm probably gonna save for another video. But like, anyways, I got expelled for not doing my homework the second time, which at the very same time of my expulsion, I got quarantined because a friend wasn't wearing his mask right and ended up getting COVID, and I hung around him every single day almost. So I had to be quarantined, and I didn't get to do this play I was so excited to do. For like the old daycare place I used to go to, I kind of touched down on that a little bit in my previous video about loss. But like hmm. So yeah, I got expelled for that. Thing is, now let's talk LGBTQ. Things that Christians are notoriously against. I'm a Christian. I believe wholeheartedly that there's a God and a heaven and a Satan and a hell. And yet, I don't seem to hold the same belief that my school did, that LGBTQ is bad, because it is not. Being LGBTQ, perfectly fine. I mean, I don't care. Do what you want as long as you're not hurting other people with it. Why should I? Like, they're as much of people as we are. Like, like a a person who is gay is as much a person as somebody who is straight. You know, because like apparently my old school didn't think of it that way because one person literally got like kicked out and told to reevaluate her Christianity for coming out to her friends as bi. And this was the first person that I talked to when I first got there in 5th grade. Okay, let's see. I've been in 5th grade, 6th grade, had to redo the 6th grade, so 3 years. 6th, and then the 7th grade, and then the 8th grade was when I got expelled the first time, which was also the year that she got expelled. So 5 whole years. She was the first one I talked to, the one that was like, "Hi, welcome to the school," and actually and made me feel welcome, made me feel like like a Christian school is like a welcoming environment where everything is all fine and dandy, but it's not. To my surprise, 5 years later, bye. she's like, "Hey, I'm buying." The principal said, "Oh, well, then you should know this phrase." Well, bye. I'm absolutely 100% sure it did not go down like that. It definitely went down in a more professional manner. But professional or not, it was wrong. I don't care how professional it was still wrong. Now, I remember this time, it was the most recent year of me being there, which was like last school year, when I got expelled for the lack of homework. Mm. I was like, we were all outside. The principal was talking to us about Christian stuff as usual because it was like the because it was like chapel or Bible class or whichever one this was. And then the one thing he said that really pinched a nerve in me really hard is none of you. I can almost guarantee that none of you have swayed a person to Christianity. Well, let me tell you, I bit my tongue so hard to keep myself from interrupting because I was afraid I was going to get in trouble. This was after the whole Stephen King book thing where I got in trouble for Stephen King. And, I didn't want to get in trouble for speaking out against a role of authority. But let me tell you something. I did manage to sway somebody to Christ. My dying grandpa. Now, I went into pretty good detail yesterday on this. Where like he was dying and all that, and how it happened, but one thing I never told you in that video was when Grandpa was in hospice, dying on his last breaths, he was losing faith, and luckily I was there for the time being. I was visiting Michigan with Mom and Dad so that I could see him. I was like, what, 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember going up to him and going something like, "Grandpa, God does exist, and He has a special plan for you. Don't throw it all away now. I want to see you in heaven." Um, that's probably not exactly what I said, but promise myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I told Grandpa that I wanted to see him in heaven. That's all I remember. But I know whatever else I said really struck him in a way that brought him back. I didn't want to say this to the principal because I didn't want to get yelled at like I had been so many times before. I didn't want to get in trouble again, you know? And that's very telling when you don't want to correct somebody about something because you're afraid that they'll throw the law book down on you and then use that little bit to get you in trouble. I was biting my tongue so hard I thought I was going to jump up and punch him. Well, maybe not to that extreme. No, it wasn't to that extreme of a level, to be honest. But I was pissed. I wanted to tell him off so bad, but I didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah, I just didn't want to put any more issues with non and poppin' with Dad and all that. Well, we all know how that ended up later on, though. But still, I mean, now I'm in a public school. I don't have to drive nearly like I like it's not nearly as far a drive, so it's easy to get to. And people aren't going to get pissed off at you based on sexuality or whatever. They're not gonna like cast you as like a complete outcast because you believe in what you believe in. I mean, sure, there's always gonna be that one jackass that's gonna be all condescending and jackassy on you, no matter what. But that's everywhere. There's always someone like that somewhere. And if there isn't a person like that somewhere, there's going to be someday. But, like, I'm more happy now. Because I know I'm not going to get in trouble over the littlest of things. I'm glad that I got out of there. Like, I mean, hey, at least I can say this. At least they weren't giving us uniforms or anything, because, oh god, that would, like the other school that I was expelled from. Good thing they weren't giving us uniforms, or else I might have dropped right then and there, and I wouldn't have met the friends that I have today. But anyways, mm, mm. I think the only good thing I got out of that school genuinely was the friends that I have now. And even then, well, I'm gonna go into more depth on my mental state in another episode, but like I haven't been talking to them for a while, and I do feel bad about it. I do like my friends. They're amazing, but like I just haven't been talking to them as much. One of which lives like a town away from me. I don't know why. I just stopped socializing at one point. But anyways, I got through the topic of what I wanted on this video. My mental state's gonna be another one, so like mm. That's it for this video though. Um this is well, yeah, that's about it pretty much. Bye.